Hey, Washington Commanders fans, get ready for a bombshell that's going to shake the foundations of our team and leave you stunned. The truths about our 2024 draft class are coming to light, and what seemed like a bright future might be turning into a nightmare. But it doesn't stop there, because we have an unbelievable twist involving a former player that many of us had already written off. Stay tuned until the end to find out what's really happening behind the scenes and how this could change the course of our franchise. And since you're here, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that notification bell, and leave a like so you won't miss any exclusive updates from the Commanders. Your interaction is crucial for us to keep bringing you the hottest news and in-depth analyses that only a true fan like you deserves. Expectations were sky high when Adam Peters took the reins as general manager of the Washington Commanders, and his first foray into the 2024 draft was seen as the true kickoff for the longed-for rebuild. With 9 picks, 6 of them in the top 100, the hope was that Peters, with his experience from the 49ers, would build a solid foundation for the team's future. After all, the philosophy of building through the draft has always excited us, and seeing so much talent coming in made us dream of better days for our beloved team. Last year, the excitement was palpable. I remember every pick, every analysis, and the feeling was that we were finally on the right track. Of the players selected in the later rounds, edge rusher Javonte Jean-Baptiste, a 7th-round pick, showed flashes of genuine potential that left us optimistic. Linebacker Jordan Magee, picked in the 5th round, despite dealing with injuries for part of the season, seemed ready to break out in his second year, promising to be an important piece of our defense. However, it wasn't all roses. Dominique Hampton, selected in the 6th round, faced significant difficulties in his transition from safety to linebacker, which already raised a small red flag. But as fans, we always give a vote of confidence, right? We believe that with time and training, he could adjust and find his place on the team. It's always tough to watch a player struggle to fit in, but hope is the last thing to die. The harsh truth is that the picks from the later rounds were considered extras, and the real test for Peters was in the top 100 selections. That's where he needed to shine and demonstrate that he had the nose for finding the talents that would transform the team. And to be honest, at the beginning, it seemed like he had hit the mark, which made us even more confident in the rebuilding project. 2 of those players, Mike Sainristil and Brandon Coleman, were key pieces in their rookie seasons, showing an immediate impact that filled us with pride. 3 others, Johnny Newton, Ben Sinnott, and Luke McCaffrey, didn't contribute as much right away, but the expectation was that all of them would take a leap in their second seasons, becoming pillars of the team. And, of course, the crown jewel, Jayden Daniels, who seemed to be the definitive answer for our quarterback position. Jayden Daniels was unanimously voted NFL Offensive Rookie of the Year, and this, my friends, was a huge relief. For the first time since 2012, it felt like Washington had finally solved its problem at the most important position in football. That feeling of having a quarterback for the future, a leader on the field, was something we hadn't felt in a long time, and Daniels gave us that renewed hope. He is still the future of Washington. I have no doubts about that. However, Daniels has not been playing as well in his second season, and this is due to a number of factors, including persistent injuries and the absence of his top player, Terry McLaurin. Even with these challenges, he remains a talented quarterback, and we know he has the potential to turn the game around and lead us to great achievements. What has really diminished Daniels' performance is not a drop in his own play, but rather the meteoric rise of the 2 quarterbacks chosen before and after him in the 2024 draft. It's a complicated situation because we root for our guy, but we can't ignore what the others are doing. The comparison is inevitable, and this ends up generating a certain pressure. Caleb Williams and Drake May are leading their teams to the playoffs, and May, in fact, is being considered as one of the MVP candidates for the NFL. That's something to think about, isn't it? We should still be excited about Daniels, of course, but the difference between him and the other quarterbacks doesn't seem as big as it did last year, which leaves us with a mix of feelings. Unfortunately, Daniels is the only player from the draft class that remains a key piece in the long-term plans of the Commanders. The others either fell in performance or haven't progressed enough to make a difference this year. It's a harsh reality to face, especially after so much expectation and investment in these picks. We always hope that all of our young talents will blossom, but it doesn't always happen. The grades from Pro Football Focus, while not perfect, provide a pretty clear overview of the 2024 draft class, and the numbers don't lie. The only player with a significantly better grade in his second season is Jean-Baptiste, and even so, he has played only 60 snaps this year due to an injury. This shows how challenging the development of these players has been. Coleman's evaluation is the same as last year, which is already a red flag. Moreover, he lost his starting position and is on track to play less than 300 snaps this year, compared to the 787 he accumulated as a rookie. It's a considerable drop, and we wonder what happened for him not to keep up the pace and performance from the previous year. Daniels, Newton, Sainristil, and Magee have regressed, some considerably, which is concerning for the team's future. Sinnott and McCaffrey haven't played enough to receive grades, And in the case of the wide receiver, this is due to an injury, which is a shame because he was beginning to show talent for making plays before getting hurt. We hope he recovers soon and comes back strong. As for Sinnott, he hasn't played well enough to earn a spot on the team, which is frustrating. He should get his chance in the last month of the season due to the injury of starter Zach Ertz, and we hope he takes this opportunity to show his worth and prove that he can be an important piece for our offense. At this moment, Sinnott and Newton seem like ineffective failures, which is a strong word, but the reality is that they are not delivering what was expected. Coleman has fallen in the team's hierarchy, and there are significant doubts about whether Sainer Still, at 5'9" and 183 pounds, will be able to stand out in any role. Daniels and McCaffrey offer some hope, but both are injured, which leaves us feeling anxious. All these players are still young and can take important steps next year, but the current scenario is much darker than it was a year ago. We know that player development takes time, but the regression of so many talents makes us question what is happening behind the scenes and how the team is managing the potential of these athletes. At that time, the future was promising, and the 2024 recruiting class was paving the way for a new era. Now, this class may become a burden for Peters, from which he will need to learn and draw valuable lessons for the upcoming drafts. It's a moment of reflection for the franchise, and as fans, we hope that the right decisions are made to reverse this situation. And now, get ready for a story that will leave you astounded, because the failed draft pick of the Commanders is catching everyone's attention, after no one believed in it anymore. It's one of those twists that only American football provides, making us think about the complexities of draft decisions and player development. Ron Rivera faced a tough decision in his first draft in 2020. The Washington Commanders had the second overall pick, which gave them the option to choose any player except for Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence, who was the obvious choice for the first position. The pressure was immense, and the fans' expectations were palpable. Some fans were clamoring for Washington to choose Tua Tagovailoa or Justin Herbert, two quarterbacks who stood out in the college scene and promised to be future NFL stars. They were strong candidates, and the debate over who would be the best pick was intense. But Rivera, with his particular vision, opted to select the promising edge rusher Chase Young. Young's selection was seen with optimism by many. After all, he was a generational talent, a dominant pass rusher who promised to transform our defense. And indeed, things started off very well for Young, who won the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year award, filling us with hope and pride. It seemed like we had hit the jackpot. However, things drastically worsened for Young after his rookie year. Injuries didn't help, and his relationship with the management soured, creating an atmosphere of uncertainty and frustration. As soon as the decision was made not to renew the player's contract, the Commanders traded him to the San Francisco 49ers for a conditional third-round pick, which ended up becoming wide receiver Luke McCaffrey. Chase Young is finally becoming the player the Commanders envisioned, but ironically, not in Washington. It's one of those situations that makes us question what could have been and how things might have been different if he had remained on our team. We always cheer for our own, but seeing a talent flourish elsewhere is a bit bittersweet. Young didn't last long in San Francisco, which made us think that maybe he could no longer reach his potential. But when it seemed that his belief in his career aspirations was waning, he finally found a home with the New Orleans Saints. It's incredible how a change of scenery can make all the difference in an athlete's career. This is Young's second season in New Orleans. It only started in week 6 due to an injury, but he is making up for lost time in a spectacular way. One could argue that the Ohio State alum is playing the best football of his career right now, and that's something that leaves us with a mix of admiration and a little regret. With 5 sacks, 20 tackles, 3 pass deflections, 16 tackles for loss, and 20 pressures in just 8 games, Young begins to remind the world why he was such a promising college prospect. He may never reach the level that was expected of him, but few do. And what he is doing now is impressive and worthy of applause. Young has a contract with the Saints for 2 more years. His impact on the salary cap rises to $20.52 million next season, the highest annual salary of his professional career to date. And, considering the improvement in his performance, New Orleans was right not to give him a viable opt-out for the 3rd year of the contract, showing that they truly believe in him. This doesn't change the fact that Washington was right to get what they could for Young, instead of losing him for almost nothing. He was no longer welcome, and was becoming an unnecessary distraction for the team. The Commanders were heading in a different direction, entering a new era that no longer needed Rivera's services, and we understand that certain decisions need to be made for the greater good of the franchise. They decided that the compensation for trading the 2 starting defensive ends before the 2023 trade deadline was too tempting to refuse. And looking back, maybe it was the right decision for the moment. Sometimes things just don't work out, and you have to move on, even if it's painful for the fans. Young also knew that the Saints represented his last chance to solidify his status as a productive starter. That extra urgency served as a springboard for improvement when all hope was rapidly fading, And it's inspiring to see an athlete rise up and show all his potential when many had already written him off. And what about the Commanders? They are desperate for more consistent pass rushers, which is ironic, isn't it? Funny how life twists sometimes, and we find ourselves needing exactly the type of player we once had and let go. It's a lesson for the franchise, and for all of us fans, about the unpredictability of sports. My friends, after everything we've seen with the 2024 draft class facing unexpected challenges and a former player shining elsewhere, the big question that remains is our team really on the right path for rebuilding, or are we about to face yet another season of uncertainty and frustration? What do you think Adam Peters and the front office should do to ensure that the future of the Commanders is as promising as we hope?